So in this video, we're going to take a look at joining up vectors. So here you can see my design, and if I select it, you can see that it looks fine. Now, if I select one part of it, you can see that it's not all one vector, okay? This is going to cause me a real headache when I try to machine this. So if I select there, you can see that I've got lots and lots of different vectors, okay? And I'm not going to be able to machine this as it is at the moment. So what I need to do is join this all up, and then I'll be able to machine it. So I'll just show you what happens if I were to try to machine this. So if I selected all of that and then go to toolpaths, and I'll just do an area clearance toolpath. Now don't worry about this. We'll come on to the toolpaths in a little while. So let me just add a tool. Just any tool, any depth. And then calculate now. So this is the type of thing that you would get. So two or more of the selected vectors overlap each other. So it can't actually do it because it doesn't know where to go, because it's not a closed vector. Okay, I've got lots and lots of different vectors here. Okay, so let's close that. Let's sort this out. So I've got all of that selected. It's really easy to do. So if you come down to the bottom here, which says join vectors with a line, okay? Now, if I left click there, the last one is called join vectors with coincident nodes, okay? Now this basically just joins all the vectors up. So if I select that, you can see that I've got a tolerance, which is 1 fair at the moment, and number of vectors now is 11, and then it tells you the number of vectors after joining is 1. Okay, so if I were to select join now, this would become 1 vector. Okay, and then it changes to number of vectors now 1. Number of vectors after is also going to be 1 because it's already joined. So if I close that and then click somewhere now, you can see that it's all 1 vector, and this will allow me to machine it. Okay, so you've got to be a bit wary of that. Now you happen to notice then probably the tolerance. Okay, so that's the tolerance between each of the vectors that are not joined. Okay, so if you've got a smaller tolerance, then you'd have to have a small gap. Okay, now what if you've got a large gap? Okay, so I've purposely made a few problems with this. So if I zoom in here, you can see that I've got a couple of gaps, okay? And I'm going to try and join this up, or I'll show you what the tolerance does. So if I select all of these vectors, press Control A, it's a quick way of doing it, and I can do this whilst zoomed in. Okay, and then go back to the join. Now you can see that it says number of vectors 2. Now that's because 1 thou is too small for the gap that I've got here. So if I were to join that and then just click, you can see that I've got this 1 vector, and this is also a second vector. Okay, so the only way that I can do that is to increase this tolerance. So if I were to set it at, let's say, 0.01, it's still saying that I've got 2 vectors. So if I try to join that, it's still 2. So let's try something quite large. Let's say 0.1 inch. And you can see that it's changing from 2 to 1. So if I select join, it's going to join that one up, but I've still got a problem here. Okay, so I'd need to increase it even more in order to do so. So instead of using this tool to do this, because it's quite large, I'm going to use a different tool to join this part up. Now this only works when you have a gap like this. So if you have a gap at 2 ends, it won't work. Okay, so let me put my tolerance back to 1 thou, and I'll close that. Now this is a really, really easy way to do this. If you come down here to close vector with a line, and it just automatically joins that up with a line. Now you can also do this with a radius or a curve. So if you've got, let's say, a circle that doesn't match up, or you can do this by moving the ends. Now, I would advise not to do that, because if you move the ends, it changes the shape. Okay, so it's entirely up to you, but it will change the shape. Okay, so that's how you join vectors up.